What's up? It's Marco back here on the Sage Soccer channel. Today we're going to be talking about the USMNT national team U23 1-0 loss to the Mexican team in the Olympic qualifying round. Just getting this out of the way, there's going to be a US-focused analysis, not Mexico. So, yeah, if that's what you're looking for, that could be it. So, just jumping into the USA game, and despite the loss, there are some solid things you can take away from this. I thought they were playing pretty well. I do think that Mexico was the better team by a decent margin, but it was still going head-to-head with them pretty well. You really see our midfield was doing pretty well, and our defense was doing very well as well. Pineda and Kessler were probably two of our better players on the day. Pineda had one amazing tackle. Kessler was doing well, especially on the ball throughout the game, and beating the press was just a very good thing for this team, especially when I was looking at the lineup and it was all right-footed players. You got a little bit nervous, but they were doing pretty well against the press the entire time. Herrera especially is playing out of position there. Great performance by him. On to some negatives. This is something that I was just not expecting this team to have such a problem with, but the set pieces weren't great. We haven't conceded from one yet, but Mexico was looking to really attack the team and got close a couple of times on them. And attacking-wise, I don't think we've had a single good chance. I think we had one Johnny header, I want to say, earlier in the tournament, but it's just been looking weak the entire time. And for a team that's kind of struggling for goals, that's something that has to be worked on and improved. And, I don't really see that happening in the, 3 or 4 days until the next game. So, yeah, that's a pretty disappointing thing. On to the players specifically, I thought starting up top, Soto is pretty poor. He obviously that really bad giveaway for the goal, but he wasn't able to get on the ball much at all. He had a couple decent plays in the second half, but in this whole tournament, he's really not gotten involved at all in the offense. And just with this one bad mistake, that's going to end up kind of defining his tournament. It's really disappointing for Soto. He's been a pretty solid player for the men's national team. He had that 2-goal in, a half-hour game? I think Richie Ledesma assisted both of them, but really disappointing for him. And thought there was a chance for him to just do well in a starting role, but he got subbed off, and pretty poor game by him. Out wide, I thought Mihailovic and Saucedo, they were pretty decent. I think that Mihailovic was probably the better player, but Saucedo, he was making a couple chances. Mihailovic, I think he's probably the best guy on our team at just getting the ball and driving at the opponents. He was able to do that a little bit, not too much. Mexico was doing very well defensively against us, but not too bad, but again, nothing really great. Along the midfield, Perea was probably our standout. I really like him on the ball. He's been doing great in that 6th role that I thought would be occupied by either Jackson Ewell or Johnny Cardoso, but he's made that his own, and he's been doing really well in the last 2 games, and hopefully he'll be starting for the rest of the tournament. Throughout the midfield, I thought that Dotson and Johnny, they really didn't have the best game. You didn't see Dotson on the ball much. Johnny was getting involved a bit, but first touch wasn't great. A couple of mistakes, a couple of good things as well, but not the greatest game by both of them in the midfield. I don't even want to say they were dominated, but it was just not solid play, I guess. Defensively, as I mentioned, pretty good. Pineda had a really good tackle. Kessler was really solid. Build-up was a lot better in this game than the rest of them. Really good. We really like to see all that. Herrera, I mentioned, especially for filling in at left back. Really good performance by him. I thought Araujo was a little bit of a weakness. He was kind of getting torched on that right-hand side. A couple of bad giveaways, but he was doing it pretty well going forward. And, he's 4 years younger than everybody else in the field. I mean, it happens. Not going to hold it too much against him, but honestly, going into the next game, I'd probably want Herrera to start on the right and Vines to start on the left. Man, we missed Vines today, but yeah, it is what it is. Got to rest guys. Ochoa, he wasn't as good as the first game in net. I thought he was a little bit nervy on set pieces. I mentioned that was a pretty big threat. There were a couple times where he just wasn't too sure about it. I'm a little bit weirded out by that one push. I mean, you like to see fire like that, especially in a rivalry game, but dude, you're a goalie. You can't be doing that. And if that got sold a little bit better, if a referee that felt like giving cards, that could have been bad. But speaking of goalies, I'm really hoping the Mexican keeper is going to get better because, that did not look good. A wrist that should not bend like that. So, really, prayers up for that guy. Prayers out for dude. So, yeah, unfortunate, but Yeah, I think Ochoa didn't have a bad game by any means. A couple good saves and really couldn't do anything about on the goal. So yeah, again, decent performance for him. Lastly, I want to mention all the substitutes, and let me go through player by player, but it was all disappointing for the substitutes. James Ferrer couldn't get involved much. Jonathan Lewis, he didn't get much going. Tessman couldn't get anything going. Just that all around. Jackson Ewell was pretty disappointing this game, and I really don't like that guy at the 6 in the USA team. I can't say too much about San Jose, but in the USA team, I thought he had his best game I've ever seen him play in an American jersey against the Dominican Republic in that more further forward role, but I just don't like him in that 6th position. Benji Michel, he probably shouldn't play for the rest of the tournament. I'd rather have Saucedo, Mihailovic, Lewis, all them on. And yeah, disappointing game from the subs all around. I mean, yeah, that's the game. I mean, it is what it is. Lose to Mexico. They're a better team. I think we knew that basically, especially with the players that we have. I don't think you can blame this on any like resting or anything. It's just in this tournament in particular, this Mexican U23 team is better than the American U23 team. Can't do anything about that, but yeah, disappointing to see. For the next game, hoping that it's kind of tough to say. Pretty sure I'm hoping for a draw because you don't want any to be facing a team going in on momentum. I probably would rather face Canada, but I wouldn't rather face a Canada coming in beating Honduras. So hopefully those two just have like a handshake, wink, wink game where they just play out a draw. But that'd be really scummy. But yeah, hopefully they do it. Anyway, not the greatest game, but some positives to take away. I feel like the lineup is basically set up, or the lineup that I would like to see, aside from Pineda or Kessler partnering Justin Glad in the final games, because those two are doing really well. I feel like it's a coin flip on them, but aside from that, I really feel like just Ochoa, Herrera, Glad, Vines, Perea, then the midfield's another thing. You could go Dotson, Ewell, and Johnny. Honestly, I'm leaning towards Johnny and Ewell. As defensive as that is, that was probably the best that we played. And then further forward, I think Mihailovic, Lewis, and Herrera. I really like those three. So it's good to see that I think we have the best lineup picked out. I feel confident in the manager's, Krish's, his judgment on that. I feel like we've lined up pretty well and for the most part. So yeah, I'm excited to see the game. Hopefully we can go out and beat either Canada or Honduras. Good performance by Mexico. Really good game. They deserve to win. And yeah, that's all I have to say about this game. We'll see you.